Hello, Legacy Sabers, Marsh here. So today we're going to talk about graphing and writing translated hyperbolas. Again, you're going to want to find that conics foldable so you guys can graph them with me. So first of all, the first part of our foldable that we're going to be filling in is the hyperbolas tab. We did fill in the origin area, so we're going to talk about the translated. So now, again, just a reminder, the parts of a hyperbola that we've talked about vertices, we've talked about a focus, we've talked about the center, we've talked about asymptotes, all of that information. But what if I decide to move the hyperbola from 0, 0 to some other ordered pair? So our standard equation of our hyperbola is x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1, correct? Now, if I move that to a point HK for a center, we're going to have this following equation to be looked at. So if I move the hyperbola, we're going to be having to find the center. This is going to cause a little bit of issue, especially with finding the equations of those asymptotes that we're going to be finding and the foci. So let's take a look at a translated hyperbola. So again, just like last time, I need you guys where it says co-vertices, go ahead and cross that information out. Okay, so co-vertices, cross it out. I already did, took care of it on my foldable. So first thing I need to identify is it opening left and right or up and down? Now remember, you look at see what letter is coming first. In this case, it is Y. So we're going to be going up and down. So this guy's going to open up and down for hyperbolas. My center, I need to be very, very careful. It is an X comma Y, right? So it is opposite signs than what you think when they're showing you. So it'd be -4, comma 1 for my center on this. I'm going to graph that right away. -1, -2, -3, -4. -4, 1. So right here. Here is my center at -4, 1. Now, my vertices, remember, that is my A value, which is the number that's under the denominator first. So 25, square root that, we are going to get a 5. So my vertices are 5 away, up and down, because that's why we found the hyperbola's direction. I'm going to go up and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are my vertices here. I'm going to label them. And let's find those ordered pairs. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -4, comma 6 and -4, comma 1, 2, 3. -4, -4, -4 for those vertices. Let's find our asymptotes next. Now remember, the B term is how far your vertices are from your asymptote. So in this case, the asymptote is 3 away because it's a square root of 9, right? So I'm going to go 3 away from my vertices. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to graph the dots on my asymptote. Right there. And then we're going to the best of our abilities, whoa, that was a little off. That's okay. There's my asymptote equations. Now I need to write the equations of those lines. So I first need to find the slope, right? So I'm going to do the positive version, but you guys have kind of noticed already, right? That's just plus or minus. I could just write plus or minus because it's the same equation. So I'm going to go y equals plus or minus because the slope is the only thing that changes. It's just negative or positive. So my slope of these graphs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So 5 over 3, 5/3 would be the slope. Now, unlike last time where it crossed through 0, 0, I can't really figure out where the y-intercept is. It's kind of hard to do. So what I'm going to use is the translated form of a line. I know there's a reason why I taught it to you. So C, we can use that as our dot, our center. So -4, 1. So I'm going to think, well, to get to -4, 1, I went left 4, and I went up 1. If you didn't do this form, you would get like, I don't know, something disgusting for those y-intercepts. You don't want that. So we're going to use our translated form, make it much easier on our brains because we're all about easier, right? Let's find foci now. So remember that is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to go 25 plus 9 equals c squared. That's 34 equals c squared. So c is the, whoop, pen just went a little weird there. Ooh, does 34 break down at all? I don't believe so. So c would be the square root of 34. Square root of 34 is 5.8, something like that. So 5 and quite a bit of change. So I'm going to go 5 point something up from the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit more. Put my focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit more. Now let's actually graph. So from my vertices, I'm just going to get really, really close. Change my color here. Whee! Gotta get close to those asymptotes. But don't cross them. Be very careful. Because they are asymptotes. That would be the graph of my hyperbola of that equation. Now, let's talk about how to write the equations of these guys. They're a little bit difficult, but they're not exceptionally terrible. So you're going to want to find in your foldable the writing equations, hyperbolas, and parabolas tab. So go and flip to that tab here quick. And let's take a look at problem number 19. So first thing I need to find is the center of this graph, right? Because we need a center, we need how far from the vertices, and then we need vertices to asymptote to actually write the equation. Well, the center of this graph is right here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, comma, 1, 2, 3, 8, 3 would be the center of my graph, it looks like. So I can start writing my equation, and this guy is up and down, right? He's opening up and down. So that means the y has to come first. So I'm going to go y minus 3 squared, because it's opposite signs, right? Subtract x minus 8 squared over, then we're going to get equal to 1. Now, a value, how far from my center to my vertice are we? So center to the vertice, we are 1, 2 away. So my a value will be, in fact, 2. So in this case, I will put a 4 down there because I got to square it, right? The b term is probably the hardest part to find because we need to find from the center, where does the asymptote go through fully? Well, it looks like it crosses really nicely, like right there, right? That would be probably a good dot. So how far is that? 1, 2, 3 terms. So b would be 3 away, which would be a 9 under the x's. Okay, because remember, a is center to vertices, b is vertices to asymptote, and then c is center to the focus, which we don't have on this graph. Now, on your foldable, this is number 20. I need you to change this on your foldable to this information here. I'm going to take a quick minute, go ahead and change that. The second line is basically the main thing. So scratch out what I gave, what it's on the foldable, and change it to this. I'll wait a minute. All right, so let's solve this problem. So we have vertices of negative 10, 12, and negative 10, 8, and then we have points on the asymptotes of negative 2, 12, and negative 18, negative 8. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I need to figure out, is this guy up and down or left and right? So negative 10, 12 would be like all the way up there. And negative 10, negative 8 is like all the way down there. And points on my asymptote, negative 2, 12 is over here somewhere. And then negative 10, negative 8, oh, negative 18, excuse me. Way over here. Negative 8 would be something like right there, right? So it looks like that this guy would be going something like this, right? Because these are my asymptote lines. So it looks like it's an up and down. So it looks like y has to come first. But I don't have the center. right? We need the center. So I need to know what is the middle of these vertices points. Well, or in this case, what's the center of these asymptotes? I could use my midpoint formula. So I'm going to do a quick negative 10 plus negative 10 over 2, comma, 12 plus negative 8 divided by 2. Negative 10, so my center is at negative 10, comma, 12 minus 8 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. So negative 10, 2 is my center. So now I can write the equation. It is up and down, so I do have to put y first. So y minus 2 squared over minus x plus 10 squared over equals 1. Now, let's find our a value. Remember, a is center to vertices. So how far is negative 10, 2 to negative 10, 12? Or, in this case, negative 10, negative 8. 10, right? 2 to 12 is 10. You can use the distance formula. I wouldn't recommend it. It's pretty easy to count. So a value, I'm running out of room here. A is 10. So since a is 10, I'm going to put 100 underneath the y spot. X, well, I need to find B, right? Because that's the other term. B is how far from a vertice to the point on an asymptote, which in this case, well, what we got here? Well, my center is negative 10, 2. Oh, no, I need to go from vertices to the asymptote. Holy buckets. Would have messed that one up. So negative 10, 12 to negative 2, 12. That'd be 8, right? That'd be 8 away from one another. This value right here, this is 8. So my B has to be 8. So in this case, under the X's, I would have a value of 64. Let's try one more together. 21. So we got vertices 10, negative 8, and 0, negative 8. And I have my foci at 18, negative 8, and negative 8, negative 8. Let's do a quick little sketch here. So 10, negative 8 is like right there. 0, negative 8 is like right here, right? Foci, well, 18, negative 8 is right over there, and negative 8 is way over here. So it's got to be something like whoop, whoop, and whoop, whoop, right? That's going to be, I know, I should have been an artist. So this guy's left and right. So the X has got to come first. But I need the center again. So let's find the middle of the vertices. Or you can find the middle of the foci too. It doesn't really matter. 10 plus 0 divided by 2. And negative 8 plus negative 8 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the center is at 5, comma, negative 8 is what I'm finding for my center. So I'm going to start writing my equations. Since it's left and right, x does have to come first. So x minus 5 squared over minus y plus 8 squared over equals 1. Now, again, find your a value. Remember, a is center to vertices. So how far is 5, negative 8 from 10, negative 8? 5, right? So my a value is 5. So I'm going to put 25 down here. Now, I need B. I need vertices to asymptote. I have none of that. So I can't find B. B is kind of elusive right now. But I do know information about the foci, which is the C term, right? C, remember, was vertices to foci. So center 5, negative 8 to 18, negative 8 is a total of distance 13, right? 5 to 18 is 13. So my C value would be 13. How could I find B? I could use our formula, right? So I could go A squared, 25, plus B squared equals 13 squared, which is 169. So I'm going to subtract 25. I'm going to solve for B here. Ooh, 144. So it looks like B is 12 in this case. So underneath the y, I'm going to put 144 because it's squared on that term. 22. Again, I need you to change it. I know, I'm terrible. Sorry, guys. Change it to this information here quick. So I'll pause here for a moment. All right, so you did change it. Here's what I need you guys to do. I'm going to ask you to do this problem on yourself, with yourself. Make sure you know how to accomplish this task. We will go over it in class. Okay, so be careful, graph this guy, and what I will do is I will talk to you next time in class. But until then, I will see you later, Sabers.